Welcome back, everyone, and I'm here again with SBR contributor Jordan Sharp. And today we're going to be looking at how those odds have been acting up for the game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. How you doing today, Jordan?
Doing good, Dex. Thanks, man.
All righty, man. So Lines Makers opened this one up favoring the Dolphins at -2.5, and since then that line hasn't budged at all, even with the news that Floyd was suspended for 4 games due to PEDs. Now the Ravens, they blew it, man. They let go of that game against the Chargers 34-33. And the Dolphins got lucky and was able to squeak out the win 16-13 against the Jets on Monday night. Now the deal is here, both teams have identical records, 7-5 straight up and 7-5 against the spread. I'm thinking that, it's going to be an interesting, sneaky type of game, like you said earlier before we were filming. But I do like the fact that, the Dolphins are going to be having a little bit easier on the defensive side from the Ravens since Floyd is out. I'm thinking that should actually have been a little bit of a factor to start moving that line. But what do you think, man?
I don't think we're going to see much more line movement in this one. It looks like a lot of money has been wagered on both sides, so it's pretty even. I think we could potentially see it. I'm not sure that this game is really giving me trouble just because it's a really interesting game, and I think it's between two pretty even teams. So the odds makers know this, so I don't think they're going to move the odds much farther from 3 points one way or the other. I could see it stick at 2.5. I could potentially see it go back up to 3, but a lot of books still have it at 3 with plus 100, plus 10 juice. So I don't know. And as regards to a pick, Baltimore, we were talking, it could be in trouble defensively. So it could be a sneaky Miami Dolphins play here. I want to trust the Dolphins. I want to believe that they're good. But, remember what happened to the Dolphins around this time last year, Dax? I mean, it's just, do you really feel confident about Ryan Tannehill in December right now after those last 2 games last week when they looked like they were going to cruise to the playoffs?
I know, man. It's weird. They always tend to mentally collapse around this area, around this time. I don't know what's going on, man. I mean, if they keep their heads straight and they can actually maintain the way that they've been playing, or at least improve from the last couple of weeks, I think that they do have a shot of winning this game. I mean, the Ravens haven't really showed, much potential to be a real contender this year. They do have, quality keys, but I do remember now that I think that Justin Forsett might be out of this game due to an injury. So that might be another factor there. They won't be able to get the running game going off that easily as they were in weeks before. So with that, factored in here, I think that the Dolphins really do have a shot. I mean, they're at home. They have, pretty much everybody ready to go. I really don't see why they couldn't actually win and even, cover this game. I don't know, man. I mean, that's what I think at least. What's the total looking like?
Let me see here. Looks like the total right now sitting at 45.5 at all books. So, I think I'd rather get behind that 2.5 number. I could definitely see a 2.5. I think minus 2.5 Dolphins. That you can still touch it at minus 115 at some places. That's probably where the total in this one I think could go either way. It really depends. Obviously, it's in Miami, so you don't really have to worry about weather too much. But at this point, I guess these two offenses could potentially go off against one another. So, I might be swayed to the over, but, I'm not quite sure. I think a better wager might be Dolphins here. I agree with you. I think Baltimore, I don't think they're as good as they're putting off this season. And Miami, I think, like we said, we're a little worried about the collapsing, but last year was last year. Until we see evidence of that, I think we still have to at least, somewhat trust them. But their defense isn't bad. I kind of like their defense. If they can get Lamar Miller going, obviously they had a little trouble with the Jets last week, and they haven't really looked great the last couple of weeks. But they have the potential to except for next week's game at New England, they have a pretty easy schedule the rest of the way. They have Minnesota and New York to finish off the week 16 and 17. So I think they can potentially, if they win here, their playoff chances improve mightily here. So I think they're going to know that. And they know they got to win this week because they got a tough game next week. So I think that, I think I could probably go with Dolphins here.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just going to stick with what you told me because I really don't know which way to go in this game. It just looks like something's wrong and something's not right, because if there were a little bit more security by bookmakers, this line would be a lot higher. I'm guessing that it's just one of those games that it's better just to watch and not bet on, right, man?
Yeah, potentially. I could see that. Yeah, definitely. I'm not by any means excited about the Dolphins here. I just would say that if I had to bet on this game, that would probably be the way that I would go. But yeah, I agree. It is a tough game, and it's an interesting game to say the least, definitely from the AFC playoff perspective. And both of these teams, I think, kind of realized that going in. So, that makes it very hard, I think, to determine, because very close spread. So, but yeah, I think the Dolphins, if the Dolphins are ready to take that next step, which I think they potentially could be, this would be a game that they need to win to do that, to take that next step. So I think they probably know that, and are probably going to put forth a really good effort here at home.
All right, sounds like a plan, man. Jordan, as always, it's a pleasure talking football with you, and let's do this again next week, man.
All right, thanks, Dax.
No problem, man. For SBR Picks, this is Dax Floyd.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.